Hello, Reds fans. Welcome to the YNWA Transfer News Channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for your daily latest news.
Our first news is this. Liverpool get final Isac verdict as Ornstein shares outcome of record-shattering Newcastle raid. Any lingering Liverpool hopes of raiding Newcastle for their prized asset Alexander Isak appear to have been firmly ended once and for all after a new update from David Ornstein, though a Plan B option has been given a supersized jolt from Fabrizio Romano. The Premier League champions are in the market for a new centre-forward this summer and are ready to spend big, despite having already shelled out in excess of £190 million, €220 million, $260 million, on 5 new arrivals so far. While this window is already a record-breaking one in terms of money spent for Liverpool, their outlay could be set to climb significantly higher should Arne Slot land his final 2 priorities of the summer. And with a new centre-half and a new centre-forward also in his sights, the Dutchman has high hopes he will go into the new season with a squad more than capable of defending their Premier League crown they won by a 10-point margin last time out. While some likely departures will boost Slot's kitty and fuel his hopes of sealing those next 2 arrivals, and with Darwin Núñez likely to be the next one out the door as long as a move to Napoli can be agreed, Slot has seen his hopes of signing Isac all but eradicated once and for all. The Newcastle man has been described as Slot's dream signing. But with the Magpies in no mood to sell and likely to bat away any offers for less than £150 million, €174 million, $204 million, Ornstein has explained why Liverpool's chances are next to zero of poaching the 139-goal Swede. The sale of Alexander Isak is not on the agenda for Newcastle. They want him to stay, Ornstein told the Sky Sports Back Pages Today podcast. They would love him to renew his contract. And so many clubs would, I'm sure, like to sign him. We know of Arsenal's previous interest, Liverpool. I'm sure if the door was open, they would look to try and walk through it. But Newcastle don't intend to open the door. And even if they ever could be tempted to, the price would be extortionate. Talk of sort of £150 million. So let's see what he wants to do. And when they return to pre-season training and what his mindset is at. Liverpool given Romano jolt and race for €100 million striker alternative. With Isac very firmly off the menu for Liverpool, the Reds are expected to go all out for the signing of Hugo Ekitike instead. Contrary to Newcastle and Isac, the France under-21 strikers club, Eintracht Frankfurt, have let it be known they are open to a sale, if their €100 million, £86.2 million, $117.4 million, asking price is met. Providing an update on that race and the player's future, Fabrizio Romano has given Liverpool renewed belief that a deal is there to be done. Speaking last week, Romano revealed that of all the strikers linked with the Reds, it was a move for Ekitike that was looking the most likely, confirming in an update they were working on a deal. Speaking on YouTube, Romano stated, "Liverpool are working on this deal. Liverpool are discussing the possibility of adding Hugo Ekitike to their squad. The idea of Liverpool is to have one more striker, and they are waiting to understand what happens with Darwin Núñez, with conversations ongoing with Napoli." Romano continued, "Liverpool can add a new striker. They are waiting to find a solution for Darwin, so Hugo Ekitike remains a name on the list for Liverpool. Of course, this is not a deal happening today or tomorrow, so we need to be patient, but Ekitike is one of the names on the list for Liverpool." Now in a fresh update, Romano has revealed his future remains open, but from what I am hearing the Premier League still remains the most likely destination for a striker who did fantastically last season. And I would maintain Liverpool as one of the options, because they have always had a strong interest in his signing. Let's see what happens now with the timings, because Núñez's exit will be important to understand how Liverpool move forward with Ekitike and more options up front. Liverpool transfer latest, Zubimendi revelation, Barcelona duo wanted. Meanwhile, Liverpool defender Ibrahima Konate has responded to Atletico Madrid's offer for him, according to a Real Madrid-centric news outlet, while Slot is facing a hurdle in getting a deal done for a potential replacement. On the incoming front, a Spanish report has claimed Liverpool are ready to make a significant splash and raid Barcelona for 2 players in a mega-money double deal. And finally, it's been revealed that Liverpool were completely happy to forego the chance to sign Martin Zubimendi at the second time of asking for one very big reason, a pundit has explained, and with the Spain midfielder going on to sign for Arsenal in a higher-than-projected transfer earlier this week. Liverpool transfer news. Red Star striker price tag revealed as release clause emerges. Liverpool have kicked off their preseason training in a bid to retain their Premier League crown. The Reds were back at the AXA training centre in Kirkby on Tuesday, welcoming 3 fresh faces. Florian Wirtz, Milos Kerkez and Jeremy Frimpong have been snapped up for a combined £185 million, as Liverpool aim to capitalise on their recent English Championship victory. More signings are expected, but exits could be equally impactful before the summer transfer window shuts on Monday, September 1st. Saturday's preseason friendly against Preston North End had been uncertain, but the match will proceed after the tragic death of Diogo Jota. Luis Diaz is reportedly ready to put Liverpool on the spot regarding his future. The Colombian has been strongly linked with a switch to Barcelona, while Bayern Munich recently had an offer turned down by Liverpool, reports the Mirror. The Reds are reluctant to let go of the 28-year-old winger, who is under contract until 2027. A report from Colombia suggests that Diaz will demand Liverpool either offer him a new deal or sell him to either Barca or Bayern. Darwin Núñez's price tag revealed. Liverpool are reportedly prepared to take a £15 million hit on striker Darwin Núñez. The 26-year-old Uruguayan joined the Reds from Benfica in 2022 for a hefty £85 million but has struggled to justify his hefty fee. However, this hasn't deterred Napoli, with club president Aurelio De Laurentiis said to be personally handling negotiations for Núñez. Italian publication Corriere dello Sport suggests that Liverpool have set a £70 million asking price for Núñez, a figure Napoli are currently unwilling to meet. Rumoured Liverpool target Gerrard Branthwaite could be available for over £70 million next summer due to a release clause. Despite being an Everton player, Branthwaite has been linked with a shock move to Anfield in recent years. Dominic Szoboszlai handed the biggest compliment of all by Liverpool icon Steven Gerrard. Steven Gerrard has, and always will be, a Liverpool legend. Although he didn't end up retiring at Anfield, there's no denying how committed he was to the club. And while his managerial career may not have gone the way he wanted after a successful spell at Rangers, there's still plenty of time for him to turn things around and potentially take over at his boyhood club in the future. At the moment, Liverpool are looking to bolster their ranks in any way they can so that they can try to retain the Premier League title next season. And with the quality they have within their first-team squad, they look to be well on their way. Steven Gerrard says Dominic Szoboszlai is the closest player to him in the current Liverpool squad. In the 2024-25 season, Dominic Szoboszlai was one of Arne Slot's standout players. The attacking midfielder formed an impressive partnership with Mohamed Salah, with his goals and assists often carrying Liverpool to a win. This summer, however, Florian Wirtz has been brought in from Bayer Leverkusen, which means that the Hungary international has a tad more competition for his starting spot. While speaking to TNT Sports, Gerard was asked which of the current Liverpool players he sees himself in the most, to which he simply replied, Dominic Szoboszlai. This is a massive compliment for the former RB Leipzig man and outlines how important he is to the team. Liverpool still have some work to do in the transfer market. As both Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez seem to have one foot out of the Anfield exit doors at the moment, one of the aforementioned number 10s could end up getting moved into a more advanced position. At the moment, Liverpool have been one of the most dominant forces in the transfer market, with Slot and Richard Hughes spending close to £200 million on bolstering their ranks. However, if all the players who have been linked with exits over the last month or so do actually end up leaving, there will still be plenty of work for them to do in the transfer window. The Premier League have done Liverpool a big favour after fixture rearrangement confirmed. There is plenty of uncertainty over what kind of shape Liverpool will be in once the new Premier League season kicks off next month. The Reds have been devastated by the tragic loss of Diogo Jota this summer, with expectations from supporters largely going out the window already. Nobody quite knows how players and staff at Liverpool will react to the sudden and unexpected death of a much-loved teammate, and fans will certainly be understanding if things do not get off to the best start. All eyes will be on the Reds on August 15th, when the Premier League champions kick off the new campaign with what will be a hugely emotional Anfield clash with Bournemouth. After that, Liverpool's first away game looks like a tough one, with a trip to St. James' Park on the horizon at the end of August. But while visiting the Northeast is never easy for any team, the Premier League may have just done Liverpool a favour ahead of that key fixture. Liverpool get 10-day rest between matches. Playing on the first Friday night of the season means Liverpool were always going to get a little rest between their first and second matches. However, as per LiverpoolFC.com, the Reds will now actually have a full 10 days off between facing Bournemouth and Newcastle. Liverpool's visit to St. James has been pushed back to feature on Monday Night Football, on the evening of August 25th. This would be good news in any circumstances, but given the toll Jota's devastating passing is likely to take on the Liverpool squad, they need all the help they can get right now. Having a little while to process that first game of the season, which is certain to be difficult from a mental point of view, will be helpful in allowing the players to get themselves in the right headspace. Purely from a footballing point of view, it is also very good news. Newcastle are a nightmare to play at the best of times, so coming into that one fresh could help the Reds get a result. How do Newcastle's fixtures compare? Obviously, given they play first this season, Liverpool will get a bigger rest than Newcastle between match days 1 and 2. However, the difference is actually as small as it possibly could be fixtures-wise. The Magpies' first game of the campaign is the second overall in the Premier League, as they play Aston Villa at Villa Park in the 12:30 p.m. kick-off on Saturday, August 16th. Nevertheless, that extra night's sleep could make all the difference for the Liverpool players as they prepare for one of the season's toughest away games. There are so many unknowns heading into a year in which tragedy has affected the Reds, but small things like this could yet make a big difference. Liverpool interested in signing Dean Huijsenes's Giovani Leone from Parma. Liverpool still have work to do in the transfer market this summer, with centre-back one area in need of strengthening. The Reds sold Gerard to Bayer Leverkusen earlier this month, leaving them with only 3 senior central defenders heading into the new season. As Liverpool have found out in the past, that is certainly not enough to compete on 4 fronts. Consequently, a new arrival is expected. Mark Guéhi has been heavily linked, but with Crystal Palace unwilling to budge on their valuation, Rousing the Cop understands the 24-year-old is more likely to arrive at Anfield on a free transfer in 2026. Instead, Liverpool are expected to target a younger defender who can come in as backup to Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate. Parma's Giovani Leone has emerged as an option in that respect, and RTK transfer expert Graham Bailey says the 18-year-old is one to watch this summer. Liverpool in the mix for Giovani Leone. Leone had a breakout season in Serie A for Parma. Having joined from 2nd Division Sampdoria in 2024, he played 17 times as Christian Chivu's team finished 16th. His impressive performances have caught the eye of plenty of teams across Europe, and Bailey confirms that Liverpool are one of them. I do believe he is one on Liverpool's radar. They've seen him and have been impressed by him, says the journalist. But he's got an awful lot of interest. There's a lot of Premier League clubs who like this boy an awful lot. I spoke to a few Italian sources while doing work on Suzuki, the goalkeeper, and my contacts were saying the one at Parma who's really getting interest and could move is Leone. Clubs are looking at him as being a Huijsenes type defender, and Liverpool have watched him. However, with Leone having only just made an impact in the first team, Bailey says it remains to be seen whether a transfer is plausible. I'm told that Parma want to keep him this summer, he says. So whether he's doable, I'm not entirely convinced. From what I'm hearing, he's also not the sort of person who'd want to sit on the bench for a season. I think he'd rather stay at Parma for another year and play. What's going on with Mark Guéhi? As Liverpool weigh up their chances of signing Leone this summer, RTK understands the trail has started to go a little cold on Gahey. Palace have so far shown no indication of coming down on their £45 to £50 million valuation, and Liverpool are unwilling to pay so much for a player they could sign for nothing in 12 months. Although it is understood that the transfer is not completely impossible, there would have to be a drastic change in the coming weeks for a move to take place. Instead, Liverpool are assessing plenty of other options in the market, and the belief is that at least one new defender will be signed ahead of the new campaign. Thanks for watching. Like and comment. Subscribe.